Welcome to day 61. Now today, we're going to start by talking about one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. Actually, probably like my favorite quarterback of all time, which is the one and the only, the legendary, league MVP, Super Bowl champ, Steve Young of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I recently had an opportunity to read through Steve Young's kind of biography, which is called Behind the Spiral. Highly recommend it, by the way. And one of the things that jumped out to me, now Steve achieved a really high level of success, but he also always had competition. Not that he hated Joe Montana, but it always caused him to drive. Remember we talked about competition yesterday? Steve Young's a great example of how competition can drive you to be better. But here's the other thing that Steve Young did throughout his career that was really incredible. Whether he was hurt or sick or whatever, whether he wanted to or not, he did the same thing pretty much every single day for his entire career. Do you want to know what it was? Okay, here it is. Here's the secret. He showed up. You know who else showed up was a receiver that he combined with to set an NFL record for most quarterback-receiver duo touchdowns, a little guy by the name of Jerry Rice, who may be the best football player in the history of the game. You know what Jerry Rice did every single day? He showed up. In fact, Jerry Rice didn't just show up at practice. Jerry Rice showed up in life before practice. In fact, this is what Jerry Rice would do. There's a hill in the Bay Area that Jerry Rice would run every single day. It's like 3 miles almost all the way uphill. This guy would do it in the off season. He would do it during season. Steve Young in the book recalls how pretty much a day or two after they won the Super Bowl, there was like 2 guys on the field working out, Steve Young and Jerry Rice. After they just won the Super Bowl, they had the parade, and guess what they did? They went back to work because they showed up every single day. So here's the question for you. Do you show up every day? In this awesome book that I've been talking about the last few videos, Grit by Angela Duckworth, she did a study with these guys on treadmills, right? And she wanted to see who had the most grit, who had the most perseverance, who had the most stick-with-itedness, right? And what she found out is that there was certain individuals that would push themselves to achieve a result. And if they didn't achieve a result, guess what they would do? They would show up again the next day until they achieved it. They just kept showing up. A good friend of mine by the name of Nick lost over 300 pounds by doing one thing. He showed up every single day. When I asked him how it was that he shed that all those pounds, he said, I started one day on the cross trainer and I just never stopped. Not never stopped the cross trainer, just never stopped. Every day showing up. Every day he was going to spend 30 or 45 minutes on the cross trainer no matter what. So the question is, do you show up? Do you show up every day? Look, you want to achieve things, right? So how often do you sit back and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to really show up today. I'm kind of good because I'm tired and I have a lot going on, and like my sister is crazy and my parents are nuts and my spouse is ridiculous and my kids won't shut up and I'm super tired. So I'm just like, today I'm just going to take a break. Like, I'm good. How often do we do that? The other day, I was in a store and I heard a couple of the employees talking about this thing where they just, wanted to go see a movie over Christmas break. They just got to get out of their life. They just need to escape, and they just want to go watch a movie that they could escape into. Look, we all like movies. I get it. But the point was, they were only showing up out of obligation. There's a difference between showing up out of obligation and showing up out of a commitment to the result that you want to achieve. They were at that job and at that work out of pure obligation. I guess I need money, so I'm just going to show up and put in my hours. That's not showing up. Do you show up? Do you go into work every day and just go, well, I hate what I do, but I'm here, so can you get me that check? Right over here, I'll take a check. No, I'm not paying a check, I want a check. Yeah, right here. Is that what you do? Or do you show up? Do you wake up driving forward to something and then show up at that office, show up at work, show up to life and say, hey life, I'm here. Let's work together. Let's do some stuff. Let's attack this thing. Let's deal with this trial. Let's show up to life. Do you show up? One of the hugest keys to success is showing up every day. It's like we've talked about, right? You can't own success. You can only rent it, but rent is due every day. That's showing up. So here's the result for today. What's something you really wanted to accomplish but you didn't? I want you to pinpoint an action or a series of omitted actions that kept you from achieving that result. Let's go a little bit longer in this video because I want to share a story with you. I remember being in 7th grade, and I'd worked for 2 years on my ball handling skills. So I played soccer, I played baseball, and I stopped all of it to play basketball. Because yes, I was short and white, but you know what? I loved the game, and I was actually pretty good. And so I worked every day on my ball handling skills, and I got really, really good. And then this really bad thing happened to me. I went to a basketball camp, and the basketball star who was helping with the camp, he could do this little basketball thing called the spider. Front, front, back, back. Front, front, back, back. Down low between your legs. And guess who could do it as fast as he could? I could. This 7th grade kid, he was a basketball star. I could do it. You know what that taught me? I was good enough. If I could already do this right now and he could do it that fast, maybe I don't need to show up. Maybe I don't need to practice as hard. And so I stopped. And then I played basketball all through high school, and I never earned a starting spot except for the last couple games of my senior year. I think I could have been great, but I stopped showing up. I showed up out of obligation, thinking that I needed to be a basketball player. I didn't show up to work hard, and I didn't show up to put in the work like Jerry Rice or Steve Young. So, are you showing up? See, for me, I realized that I stopped showing up and I started omitting actions, that constant, deliberate, frequent practice. I started to omit from my life, and therefore, I didn't achieve the result that I'd hoped to one day. I didn't even really have it solid of what I wanted to do. So guys, just, do you show up? Think about a time when that thing that you really wanted to achieve didn't happen, and go back and figure out when was the moment you stopped showing up. I know you did, because it never came. We'll see you tomorrow.